Hi, Gareth.
Hi,
Um,
Alex.
a big moment for Marcus Rashford to be captain and score the winner today, especially with the background of the issue of the knee and booing. Was that in your mind when selecting him as captain, and how did you think he did?
Well, the captaincy, really, he was by far our most experienced international player in terms of caps, and we felt that would be the right decision. He was obviously delighted to get that news this morning, and nice for him to score the goal as well. So I think the game itself, there were. Not easy for the group of players we put together. You know, a lot of changes from the other night. Several players making their debuts, players who needed the minutes, players who've had injury or illness. So there were a lot of different elements going on on the pitch. Clearly, the performance, I think, needs to improve from what we did today. But nice to win, and we've certainly learned a lot from the game.
Jordan Henderson back as well. Great to have him back. And would you be able to explain the situation with the penalty? Was he the next in line?
Well, I wouldn't be able to explain the situation. Marcus and James Ward-Prowse were the two nominated at the start of the game, and of course they'd both come off. So I'd have to say I was expecting Dominic to take it at that point. But Hendo, as the captain on the field by then, was the one to make the decision. So I think if I was Dom as a centre forward, I might not have gone along with that so easily.
Thanks, Alex. Just a reminder to everybody to stay on mute when you aren't answering a question, please. We'll go next to Andy Dunn from the Mirror.
Hi, Gareth. He won the penalty. He got a lot more minutes under his belt. Jack Grealish is making a fairly irresistible case to be starting next Sunday, isn't he?
I think we've seen with Jack in the two games that he has those moments where he can really turn matches, and he obviously did that from the left. In this instance, we'd pushed him out to the left by that stage. So it's been very useful for him to get those match minutes under the belt to get a bit closer to full match sharpness, and that's been valuable for several of the players as well.
Thanks, Andy. We'll go to Paul Joyce of the Times.
Hello, Gareth. I was just wondering what you thought of the reaction to the taking of the knee and the booing. I know you don't want to talk about it all the time, but just in this instance, because it's the first time since you made your statement yesterday, just what your reaction was.
Well, I think I sadly sort of expected what happened to happen, and we have accepted that as a group. It's not going to stop what we're doing and what we believe, and it's certainly not going to stop my support for our players and our staff. So that's it. We're going to have to live with that. But you're right. We've said what we're going to say now, and of course, you're right to ask the question today. But moving forward, it's pointless me going into any further detail on it.
Thanks, Paul. Dan Kilpatrick, The Standard.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Dan.
As it stands, do you think it's going to be difficult to find a way to potentially start Jack Grealish, Phil Foden and Mason Mount in the same team? Or do you think that's something that's possible, as well as including a more direct player like Jadon or Marcus or Bukayo?
Well, it's definitely going to be difficult to fit all of them in. There's got to be a balance to any team, and there's always a numbers game to be played. So, in the last couple of games, we've got 4 attacking players into the team, and obviously different teams have different ways of doing that. Chelsea just won the Champions League playing with 3, really. We've got to get the right balance, find the players that are in form, find the players that we think are our best players for different games. But we're going to need them all. The players that start game 1, there'll be changes during the game, and I was talking to somebody outside about 1998. I'm pretty certain David Beckham didn't start the first game. I know that Michael Owen didn't. By the end of the tournament, Michael Owen was a world superstar. So, those changes happen. We need people. We need game changers from the bench. We're fortunate that we've got players that can do that as well.
Thanks, Dan. Duncan Wright, The Sun.
Hi, Gareth. Obviously, you're not going to name the extra replacement for Trent until tomorrow, but James Ward-Prowse, he couldn't have done much more, could he? I mean, and the set pieces are an added bonus that you haven't got anyone like that else in the squad, have you?
Prowse's, professionalism and approach all week, given the disappointment of being left out, has been first class, absolutely first class. So, the decision won't necessarily be about the performances today as such. It's going to be positional, really, and the area that we feel we might need the most cover. And, because I couldn't have been happier with the way that Jesse approached things, Ollie Watkins approached things, and the two young defenders approached things. They've all had excellent weeks, and their mentality is what we expect of this group, but they have certainly matched that right the way through.
Thanks, Duncan. Matt Lord, Telegraph.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Matt.
Roy Keane, before the game, described Jordan's inclusion in the squad as a distraction. And I wondered if the penalty was proof of that, in that he was sort of trying to go for the Hollywood ending of his comeback. And can we be safe to assume now that he won't be taking a penalty during the tournament unless it really goes down to the wire on a shootout or something?
Well, I think we're firstly we're certainly not distracted by anything. We know the situation Hendo is in. He's been a very positive influence around the camp with the group. It's a step forward for him physically today, which was important in order for him to be able to play some sort of part in the tournament. And we're realistic about what that could be. So it's not a situation where it's dividing the group or we're unrealistic about what's possible. We're not hanging our hat on him being fit. If we can get him to a good level, then that's a bonus. We've got 26 players, which of course has never been the case before. With the penalties, we're very diligent in how we practice them. I didn't expect what happened to happen. I wouldn't expect that to happen again.
Thanks, Matt. We've got time for three more, starting with Gary Cottrell, Sky Sports.
There we go. I'm muted. Hello, Gareth. Thanks for your time.
Hi,
Could you give us an update on Harry Maguire?
Yeah, he's progressing well. He was running today, so the last few days have been very positive. There's still, a little bit of work to be done, but he's definitely heading in the right direction, and we were very pleased with the progress over the last 2 days in particular.
Thanks, Gary. Jacob Steinberg.
Hi, Gareth. Are you worried at all about the impact that the booing of taking the knee is going to have on the players? Because it must be, very upsetting for them when that happens. Are you worried that it might have an impact on performance at the start of games?
I think I've answered that yesterday and answered it already today, and there's no point in discussing it any further. That we've said we're going to continue to do what we do because we know that the players are together, united, and are not going to let it affect them.
Thanks, Jacob. And we'll finish with David Ornstein from The Athletic.
Hi, Gareth. Similar to Gary, I was just wanting to check on the fitness of Bukayo Saka, if possible.
Yeah, a sort of minor hip flexor injury. So we're hoping should train by middle of the week. And yeah, we'll assess that day by day, but not one that we're concerned about for the sort of mid-term anyway.
Okay, everybody, thanks for this evening. We'll end it there.